This video is not going to be kind to this individual. All right, guys, so I'm doing a video on Officer Tatum. A lot of you guys know who he is. I think this guy's a clown, a straight up Uncle Tom clown. Not going to get started just yet, but looking into this guy's character, I remember there was a red flag with him, or not a red flag, but more of my antennas went up with him, and that was when I found out his time in PD, right? So apparently he was a police officer in Arizona. At some point he joined SWAT. Now, he was only a cop for 6 or 7 years. Now, I've always thought growing up that anybody who does less time in a police department or fire department, that there's something there. And it's just always been my, I guess, it's always been my situation, rather, or my experience, that people who work in a short amount of time in a job where you do 20 or more and you're good, when someone has done 5 or 6 years, to me that's a bit of a red flag or an antenna going up. So with that, knowing that he was a police officer, a training officer, and then he joined SWAT, I think he was a cop for 4 years, and I think he was SWAT for 2. Could be wrong, could be the other way around. Still, 6 or 7 years of being a police officer, I'm just like, something didn't sit right with me once I found that out about him. So when I was following him at first, I'm like, oh, this is a cool, brother. He's sitting there talking. He's a conservative. He knows his stuff. And then when I found out that cop thing, I was like, listen, for everybody I've known who's been a cop for less than 10 years or 15 or 20, I'm always questioning why they leave. Now, some cops can't handle the brutal reality of being a cop. I know a lot of people can't handle that. But usually find that out within your first year or 2. Then 6 years come by and then you leave. Well, something else is going on. Either the guys didn't like you, you screwed up, or you saw something you didn't want to see and it disappointed you. There's also that. But again, once you're in SWAT, normally you're in SWAT for a long ass time. It's pretty much until you retire or you get promoted. So when someone leaves a job like that at 6 or 7 years, I'm just like, all right, there goes strike one. And then that's with me. And that's because I'm a fireman. My family, my father was a cop, my mother was a correction officer. So I know the how it works when it comes to getting fired, years working and things like that. So again, that was number one. Now, of course, he said some stuff that a lot of people didn't like. He talked about the Uvalde police incident, and he was siding with the cops. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, this guy's a coward. On top of that, then I'm like, that's why he left SWAT. Because listen, guys, to be a cop that's going in through a door, potentially getting shot at, that takes a considerable amount of balls, right? So that was like, when he made that comment, I was like, oh, there it is. This vagina just flapped out of his underwear. So it's like, okay. So then he's friends with Candace Owens, and he was defending Candace Owens. Ben Shapiro, went after Candace Owens. And when Ben Shapiro went after Candace Owens, I knew Ben Shapiro, first of all, Ben Shapiro is an untrustworthy dude. You can look at him and tell. And then when I found out he was part of the Tiny Hat Club, I was like, there it goes. That's why. So, and it's not even that why. That's why. It's that Ben Shapiro is an untrustworthy character. Anybody like him who speaks fast, uses big words when there doesn't need to be, when he do that kind of shit and you combine that together, that is an untrustworthy person. A person who wants to get their word across is going to talk to you at a decent pace, if not slow. When you talk fast like him, they're up to no good. It's like a used car salesman trying to sell you some bullshit. That's what Ben Shapiro is. Piece of shit. Not the point. We're going to focus on the Negro and not the tiny hat. So now, Officer Tatum is up Candace Owens' ass. I thought he just liked her that much. He's always defending her. And then all of a sudden, he started talking out against her. And I was like, and this was before Charlie Kirk passed away. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then Charlie Kirk passed away. And then he went a little further in talking out against her. And then all of a sudden I see all of these videos of him. This video here, this picture right here. Look how he's sitting. He looks like he has a gun to his head and he has to talk kindly in front of Benjamin Netanyahu. I've never seen such nonsense. And then he goes on a 7K tour, right? That's a $7,000 club. They paid him $7,000 to talk this stuff, to have this interview. They paid him more than that. It wasn't just $7,000. They paid him more than that to talk to Benjamin Netanyahu. If I'm not mistaken, he went to Israel as well. He talked about how he got spit on by one person. It's probably a Jewish kid, excuse me. He went there and he just like bragged, and talked about this. And I'm like, and then he did another interview outside of this one where he was talking about anti-Semitism in America and Israel first and all this other nonsense. Well, America first and we help Israel. And I'm like, yo, he's sucking Israel's dick. Like hard. Like again, he's just having Israel come all over him. He's just sitting there smiling. Thank you for my $40,000, whatever they paid him. He's just sitting there. And this guy became the complete sellout. He is not an American. He's not a patriot. He is none of those things. After that whole Uvalde nonsense, I knew he was a coward because that's the talk of a coward. One. Two, once you started stabbing your friend in the back, Candace Owens, I said, oh, untrustworthiness. Strike two. Strike three was letting Israel come all over him, and he didn't even wipe it off his face. He was just sitting there like this. Thank you, sir. Can I have some more? Like, again, this shuckling and jive, cornbread having, watermelon tap dancing, get so boss, I shine your shoes on a Monday morning. Thank you for my nickel, sir. That bullshit. That's what he turned into, this guy. And again, you watch him on these interviews, guys, it's embarrassing to watch him talk about Israel the way he does. He acts like Israel's going to protect him if some shit goes down. He acts like he's Jewish the way he talks about him. And I'm not sitting here saying, go on a rampage against him, but I'm like, you don't have to go that hard in the sucking a dick. I'm like, we get it, man. You like Israel. But now almost every interview I see is with him standing up for Israel. We're supposed to be their friends, it says in the Bible. No, dickhead. Not the government. You're standing up for the government. You're supposed to stand up for the land and the people. And the people currently in Israel are not the people the Bible's talking about. That's a fact. In fact, Officer Tatum also had something that I noticed when I was watching when he first started coming up. He was almost like the kid that nobody wanted. He was like the little fucking, get the hell out of here, you little Negro. Like, he was just trying to befriend anyone that friended him within the YouTube community. Again, he was up Candace Owens' ass, and he was like, me and Candace Owens are great friends. Meanwhile, they just met each other. Then at one point, he was like Ben Shapiro's friend. We got along, we respected each other. Like, he was sucking so many dicks and eating vagina out just to try to get famous. That's the kind of guy Tatum is. He wants to be loved and liked by everybody so that he can get in there, grow his channel, make more money, and now he's on the Tiny Hat tour. Now he's jerking those people off. Like, he's one of those guys, he needs to fit in somewhere. And he always talks about his anger and all this other bullshit. Like, why don't you use that anger when you were trying to get drafted in the NFL because nobody wanted his ass? You could use that anger and play some real football. But instead, now he's on here as a talking head. He didn't last as a cop, as I stated before. And now he's up here shuckling and jiving and tap dancing for Israel. Yes, sir, boss, I'll sing you a song. Come on, dude. Seriously? And again, watching him trying to befriend everybody in the conservative world. I think at one point he was even trying to get liked by the Hodge brothers, the twins. And they looked at him like, this guy's a clown. Like, dude, he's just straight up a clown. When you looked at him, he reads clown. That's all it was. And this guy always wanted to fit in. Let me show you how much control they're trying to get over the United States. Right now, they're stating that saying America first is anti-Semitic. They're also stating that Christ is King is anti-Semitic. And they like to say, when you look it up, they say that extremist groups are using it against Jews. What? But they said the statement as a whole, not who it came from, the statement as a whole, they try to explain it's from extremists, but they're trying to outlaw or make the whole phrase anti-Semitic. They try to give you some history, but no one's really going to follow that history behind it. So they're sitting there, they're telling us now, Christ is King and America first are anti-Semitic. And if you do not believe me, look it up. It'll sit there and say, well, it'll say that it's not anti-Semitic. However, extremist groups used it against Jews and made it anti-Semitic. I'm like, how do you make something anti-Semitic? Again, guys, I'm not making this shit up. You can look it up yourself. You can argue with your computer right now or me on a computer all you want. Look it up. I will implore you to look it up because you're going to be like, holy shit. Yes. And in fact, I went over this before, but there is a bill, an anti-Semitic bill that they're trying to pass stating that if you talk out against Israel, it's considered anti-Semitic. I'm not making any of this up. I'm actually shocked about a lot of this shit. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? So they're trying to have control over what we say here. That shows you who runs this country. Anyway, guys, this is The Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching The Angry Truth channel.